Hey Recovery Warriors, Julie Norman here, body image guru, one of your Recovery Warriors blog contributors. I'm really excited to bring you a new blog series. Coming off my big breakdown on body image, which you can read on the site, go under my bio, Julie Norman, and you can find that series. It's a 4-part series. In that blog offering, we finished up talking about Shakti, the divine feminine energy. This blog series, as you can see from the title, is Shakti Power. 4 steps to a fierce, fun life. Because beyond our eating disorders, that's what life is. I recovered myself 20 plus years ago, and have been able to really enjoy life to the fullest, manifest my dreams, and I want to share the ways I did that with you through my work. So if you will join me here, we're going to do some simple yogic practices and some techniques that I've developed that might be considered yoga, might not, to help you move beyond the eating disorder. I hope this supports you along your journey wherever you may be, and feel free to connect with me anytime to share how you feel about this stuff. All right, warriors, here we are. Take to your yoga mat. I always recommend when you're seated to have a little pillow or a folded blanket under your sit bones, just to help you get a nice tall lifted posture. Let's do a little bit of a warm-up practice, just some basic yoga postures, some flowing movements, hold a few poses, just to get us connected to the breath, connected to the body, which I know is hard, but within this body are all the answers, everything you need to know, and the courage to step beyond the fear, to heal through the fear into a fierce, fun life. And maybe you already have that and want to enhance it and continue that. This is what Shakti is about, the fullness of life, and you deserve that. So start right away. Come to a comfortable seated posture. You can be in a chair if sitting on the floor doesn't work for you. Totally fine. Take 3 breaths, just nice and still. Hands on your legs for a little grounding action. Close your eyes. That's all meditation, all your yoga practice has to be. Let's move a little bit, just to loosen things up, just to get a little more at home in our bodies. Take some big belly rolls. So it looks just like this. Try to let the movement come from the low belly and the upper belly, parts of the body that I know can be difficult to love and accept. I personally have a little more belly right now than is typical for me, and that's okay. This might be what my body wants at this stage of my life. Plus I married a husband that cooks some really great food. Our bodies are going to fluctuate and change a little bit with life. So that's part of Shakti, just going with the flow of life, letting life change and evolve. Nice steady breaths. Just some of those big belly rolls. Beautiful. And then sit tall in the center. Take a big breath in, reach out and up. Exhale, reach out and down. These are called sun breaths, and you can really let the spine flow with the breath, lifting, arching it a bit as you come up, and as you exhale, maybe rounding the spine a bit. Take 3 more of these. Let your sit bones sink down into the earth. Let your heart open. And just notice any sensations, any emotions that arise as you practice. We have this gorgeous sunny day here with us. Let the sun inspire you. Take your left hand to the earth, reach over to the right. Turn your heart towards the sky and really extend that right arm, open heart center. The right hip sink down. Big inhale up and over to the other side. Exhale into a side bend. To the right, opening up the left rib cage. Maybe even flow here a bit, forward and back. Rolling the rib cage open. Good. And inhale, tall, come on back up. Roll the shoulders. Other way. So this first step of Shakti power is going to be about desire. So often we think about and focus on and talk about what we don't want. Just notice that as we practice some more. Come on to hands and knees, table pose. Again, you can do this next movement in a chair if you like. Hands under your shoulders. Knees right under your hips, tops of the feet pressed down. If you're in a chair, scoot forward, just arch and round the spine. This is called cat-cow. So we come from a tabletop position, a nice neutral spine, long from the tailbone up through the crown of the head, big breath in. Lift the tailbone, drop the belly. Reach up through the heart, lift the chin. And then as you exhale, drop the tailbone under, round the spine, really push the earth away. Through your hands, crown of the head points down. Inhale. Find the breath in again as you come to cow pose. And then this here, exhaling, is cat pose. So this can be a challenge to move into the pelvis so much, just like it can be a challenge to connect to the belly, especially the low belly. This is where Shakti power lives energetically in our bodies, down in the pelvic bowl, in the womb space. And we very much are encouraged in this culture to contain Shakti. We talked about emotions in the first blog series and how feeling fat and the emotion of fear is so closely related to containing our emotions. And emotions are part of Shakti. So just pay attention, allow them. They give you information. We worked with feeling emotions in the fat practice. But in this first round of Shakti power, we're going to talk about a different aspect of Shakti desire. So go ahead here from table pose. Press your heels, your hips back to your heels. Just kind of wiggle back and reach your arms out, hands a little wider than the shoulders. Maybe your pinkies to the edge of the mat. We're going to bow into child's pose. If you are seated, you can take a forward fold over your lower body. Just reach towards your toes. Now, a variation I like to take on this pose is opening my knees wider, bringing my big toes together, sink the hips back, and wiggle down. This gives my belly a little more space. I can feel the breath move a little freer through the body. And this will be our last pose of the practice before we go back to seated and do our meditation inquiry practice. Continue those full mindful breaths. In yoga, these are called dirgha breaths. And while we're here in child's pose, let's connect through visualization the second chakra down in the low belly center, the pelvic bowl. Just imagine a big, beautiful ball of orange light filling up
your lower belly, lower back, down into the hips a bit. So maybe that ball of light is about the size of a grapefruit or softball. And as you breathe in, it grows brighter and radiates out even beyond your body. And since I had you contemplate all the things you don't want, now start to shift into thinking about what you do want. One guideline here, it can't be related to body changes or weight. So none of that I want to lose 10 pounds. Or I want thinner thighs. We're going to clean this up and really get down into the important stuff. Let's think about heart's desire. Let's come on up out of child's pose and just crawl your way back into a seated posture. I'm going to bring my pillow in here and come back into an Indian style posture. This may not be comfortable. You can bring the soles of the feet together. Again, you could be in a chair. You could even stretch the legs out straight. Find what works for you. Whatever the case may be, I want you to sit nice and tall. With your heart light, your shoulders relaxed, your jaw relaxed. And if it's okay with you at this point in your recovery, your hands to your low belly. You could even float them out here if you're not ready to touch that part of the body. We're going to spend the last few minutes of this video connecting to, exploring, and naming our desire. What is it we want in life? Because so often we are convinced and we're told that we don't deserve more than we have, that we're ungrateful if we want more from life. And I've certainly found over the years that for myself and for my clients, denying our desires contributes to painful body image, and it contributes to, from there, eating issues. Also addictions and other types of imbalanced living, because the soul's not happy, the soul's not being allowed to express itself and have fun here on earth in a body. So what you're going to do is, again, keep connecting, imagining that second chakra. So go beyond the physical body. And now that you have this nice steady breath, as you breathe in, I'm going to bring the breath down to that space, lower belly, illuminate that ball of beautiful orange light, and ask yourself, I want, just stating that at the top of the in-breath, I want. And as you exhale, bring that desire up through the heart and let it express. So it'll look like this. I want peace in my family. I want healing for my clients. I want to share my passion with the whole world. Do you get the idea? So, naming some really big things, naming the global stuff down to the personal stuff. It could even be, as you sit with that and practice a little longer, I want a turkey sandwich for dinner. I want to be heard. I want to be understood. Every time I do this with a client,
I affirm back to them. Every time they name their desire, I affirm back to them, you can have that. So you can add that in towards the end. You can write down your desires and then affirm each one. Do one by one, just like with the fat practice in the last blog series, naming and expressing emotion. We just name them one at a time, give them time, give them space, give them presence, give them love. Every time I do this, inevitably, every client names, I want love. And you're allowed to have that. You deserve that. In fact, you are love. That's what the path of yoga tells us, that we are Atman, spark of the divine, that we are the embodiment of love. And this journey with an eating disorder is a symptom of forgetting that, and we all do, even folks that don't develop eating disorders. But it's imperative, I've found, to connect with our Shakti energy, our divine feminine energy, male or female, feel our emotions, name our desires. So work with this until the next blog post that builds on this courageous step of naming your desires. Probably more than one. Feel free to share in the comments any questions you have, or if you're comfortable with it, anything you discovered. Recovery Warriors is an amazing community and an amazing resource to support you along your journey. Be sure at any time that you check in with your treatment team. If you have one, if you feel triggered or big things come up, share your inspirations and your joys with those support people as well. Thanks for taking the time today to watch this video blog, and stay tuned for more. Namaste.